Hi everyone, it's 26th of August. I thought I'd do a bit of an update because I'm going to do a little bit of gardening today. But first of all, I want to say a big thank you, a massive thank you to all my subscribers for all the kind comments. I've not replied to them because there's so many to reply to, but every one of you, thank you very much. It's quite overwhelming to see how many comments there were, so it's really nice. So a massive thank you. And it has helped a bit. The circumstances haven't changed regarding my mum, and we know where we are regarding results now, and it's not good at all. It's kind of the worst that you could hope for, really. But I've been given my orders today because family's round looking after my mum to go out and have a break. So I thought I'll come and do a bit of gardening because I'm not far away then. So I will be nipping up to the plot later on because God knows what that's going to be like there. I've not been there for 2 weeks. I think I went in and harvested my potatoes. I'll tell you about that in a bit. So a big thank you to everyone. So the updates aren't going to be regular, just as and when, really. I say because just don't know one day, from the next what's going to be what we're going to be up against. So the tomatoes, they've been okay. The cherries have done all right. The sort of normal sort of size tomatoes have been a bit hit and miss because they're quite some of them have been quite a dry, sort of mealy, dull. I think that's just down to irregular watering, because some weeks I'll water them 2 days on the trot and then I might not water them again for another week and a half. It's just as and when I get out to do it. But the cherries seem to be getting very much enjoyed. So absolutely masses of cherry tomatoes. I did start thinning some of the foliage out lower down. I need to cut a load more off, but I say I've got 1 day today to do as much as I can, and then just to try and get back on par to a degree, and then just whenever I can. So I'll come and get the camera and have a look around the garden. Like I said, I'll probably be nipping up to the plot today if it doesn't rain. It's not forecast rain for a change. I'm doing some gardening and it's not pouring it down, because usually whenever I get the spade out it decides to chuck it down. It's just the way it is. So I'll get the camera and have a look around the garden and show you where things are up to. Alright, so I'll show you these tomatoes first. I mean, some of the trusses are, I can't even get it all in shot. It's got a wide angle lens on, but I mean there's like a truss there that's probably, it's like 2 foot long. It's loaded with tomatoes, and I've been picking these. I've been picking this morning. I've got Planet Gardener's Delight here and Sun Golds. But I mean, I'm getting the odd one that's splitting, so I mean, I just pull them off and sling them. But yeah, there's absolutely stacks of them, and obviously sisters have been helping herself some as well, which I don't mind, because there's too many to eat here. Because they are nice. I mean, whatever I can, I will sort of sauce up and freeze. So these are all cherries, Sun Golds, Gardener's Delight, the Money Makers. Been a bit hit and miss really, but they're still tomatoes. Got the Black Russian at the back there, which is quite a beef, chunky tomato. The Alicia Craigs, like I said, have been quite dull and mealy. But I pumped them with water, and this truss has fattened up a bit up here, so I think it's just down to watering. I don't want to over flood them because they end up splitting, like some of them splitting, they get a sudden burst of water. So these are Shirley's, these are. I know Shirley's can pump out a lot more than that, but the Alicantes, they're, it's very poor lighting in here at the moment. The Alicantes are getting a decent truss. I mean, I'll probably end up snapping that at some point. I have had the odd one snap. I mean, I had a Shirley that snapped here. So actually, I just whipped it round, and it's actually it's taken. It's it's healed itself. But when it was actually in growth. So that's the polytunnel. Just tomatoes, plenty of them. I have to try and keep an eye on any little growing tips. But these are the the Black Russians, quite high up, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on some of this string, because as it gets later in the season it degrades a bit, and yeah, you do get the odd one snap. So I just need to, because they're under some serious tension then. There's some weight in a tomato plant when it's fully loaded. No blossom end rot on the tomatoes. I did have some on one of my peppers. Obviously I'll show you my peppers now, which aren't brilliant because they never got potted on. These are, I think they're called mini lunchbox, I think. Just like a small sort of bell pepper, and actually going yellow. Normal bell peppers, it's a little pot that, but a couple of decent peppers on it. It's supposed to be yellow bell pepper, so I don't know whether they'll just go yellow quicker or not, I don't know. I took some off that one, they were green because I needed some. So that's the peppers. I didn't bother doing any chilies. I had some chilies that I overwintered, some Scotch bonnets, which just sort of like been forgotten about, and I don't even know what that variety is over there, no idea. So flower end, I was going to pull all these petunias out, but they're still pumping flowers out, so I thought I'll just leave them be, because Mum likes to, gives her something to look at, and because these are her sort of borders. The sweet peas, they've all succumbed to the end now, so I've been harvesting pods. So I'm going to take a load of pods. I'm going to have an absolute load of seeds, and I'm going to carry on growing them. Mainly because my mum loves them, so I'm just going to keep growing sweet peas there. I know it's ideal you don't grow them in the same spot all the time, but they started off with a small patch, and now there's a big 18-foot net of them. No idea what the variety is. They were a mix-up right in the beginning. I think they've cross-pollinated, and so I don't know what they are. But I've got a full tray of pods so far, so I'll just come out when it's sunny and dry, and I'll pull a few pods off, and then I'll pod them, and I'll have a stack of seeds. So I might end up giving a load away, So I'll let you know on that one. These are like remnants of the trays. I've got a couple more that I've sown. The clematis is kind of finished flowering now, and the 2 raspberries that remain from the allotment are still growing. Sunflower, that was one of the Moulin Rouge. It must be 8 foot high. That the ones at the allotment, they just didn't do well at all, because they had the Moulin Rouge planted in front of the giant, so they probably only got to about 6.5 foot. They're still there, as far as I know, probably all collapsed. Onions, all my onions are pulled now, even my big ones. These were the first lot. I think these are the stir on. Just drying off now. I had to cut a lot of the top off because it was, the mildew that was on them. I thought I don't want it causing too much problems, so I left as much as I could on to help dry. They're drying down nicely. And these are my Kelseys that were eBay seeds, but they're pretty big. That's probably one of my bigger ones. I think it's 4.5 pound, so it's not as big as last year, but considering they were kind of just neglected. So I've got these. Put this one up here. Keeps rolling off. I'll watch that. And I've got ones that shot to seed, which were loads of them just under here. They've not cleaned them up or nothing. They're just going to get used up, because a lot of them are soft, because it has been a wet August, so a lot of things have succumbed to damp. Strawberries, all I've done with these, I've actually taken some runners, don't know if you can see, I just put them in a little pot of compost and put a bit of wire over it until they root in, you know, you'll start seeing roots at the bottom soon, and then you cut them off from the mother plant. Variety, I don't know, Florence or Vibrant or something like that. These are the currant bushes that I just chopped off, but they're growing back, so see how they go. This is the final potato peel challenge. Funnily enough, it's the straggliest, ugly plant that I've ever grown, but yeah, it's not succumbed to blight. You know, I mean, this was sown in February from that peel. I've harvested the other two, which were pathetic, but I'm going to harvest that today, so I've no idea, because it's a skinny plant. It looks ill. I've not watered it for a long time. It's been ravaged by slugs and whatnot, just stuck here in a corner. And then I've got some Charlottes, which these here. I can't remember how long ago I put them in, not maybe 5 weeks ago. I've been picking out because they have got blight. You know, I've been trying to just pick the odd leaf off as and when. This was that thing where I resowed some that I'd already harvested from, the blighted ones, and one's come up. But you know, when I did them, the compost was really wet, so I've got a feeling they've rotted off. This is my own compost, this, because it's rife with tomato seeds, and they're just tomato plants. Some lettuce. I have to keep sowing the lettuce because of tortoise and that. This is that Mazur that's finally shot to seed. Well, it's started to bolt now, but I'm still harvesting. I mean, look at, you can see the trunk on that. You know, it's a big old trunk, and I've been harvesting it all this time, so I'm definitely growing these next year. I mean, they've been slow to bolt, to be honest, and I've just used them as a cut and come again. So I just come out and I just, you know, break the leaf off there, just keep doing that all up the stem. You know, I mean, these are perfectly fine, they're not hard. I mean, the endive behind are, I might actually leave that to try and see if I can get some seed off it. Yeah, I've got some seeds, but I thought I might try and get some seed off the endive. Subarctic plenties behind, they've got blight. I'll try and pick stuff off them. I've had a few tomatoes, but I need to take a lot of foliage off there. I need to get in and sort them out, because I can't seem to keep up with getting rid of all the, you know, the fresh growth tips. These cobra beans, you know, some of them are getting massive now, too big. I actually keep forgetting that they're here, to be honest. So God knows, I might eat them as a bean. I don't know what I'll do with them. I've got a load that I've frozen that I've had from the allotment. Try and get down here. The leeks have succumbed to rust. I'm not surprised, because there's absolutely no ventilation down in there. Parsnips, well, I don't know. So I can't see anything that's like dead. But some of the top's got these brown patches on, which are probably bugs or some sort of disease. But they're still growing. So God knows what's in the ground. They'll be all forked monsters probably. Speaking of which, these are carrots, still not pulled. I've been pulling the odd one, but keep forgetting to do them as well. Ugly parsnip. Yeah, it's an ugly top, you know, because it's had like manky bits on it. I've not watered it. I've done nothing with it. It's just sort of like left. I mean, that one's sort of like not got a growing tip on it anymore. I got some sort of rot on it, so God knows which one was that. That was a curly long sprout, that one. So God knows. Another strawberry plant. Taking runners off. No signs of roots as yet on the bottoms of the pots, but they will come at some point, I should imagine. Oh, that one has. That one's got roots at the bottom, so I can cut that off the mother plant, put it into a bigger pot. Because I cut me tops off me King Edward's, sunlight can actually get in here now. So the cucumbers are starting to grow up, but obviously powdery mildew. I have sprayed them with a bit of milk and some bicarb, just to try and, it has taken the edge off a bit. I need watering because they're getting a bit limp. It's not actually that dry, it's just the heat in here because it gets red hot. Cactus, whatever it is, Burbank spineless, yeah, it's growing okay. My onion that I put to seed, it rotted off, so I've just hung it over. I mean, because it might draw a bit of energy from this stalk and just finish them seeds off, but hey, oh, never mind, that's just what happens. And I've got some spring onions that I shoved in a pot. They were going to go to the allotment, but they didn't, so I just shoved in a pot. These are the two sort of trial things I was doing, Navan and Ola. Obviously they didn't have as long as some of my other spuds, so they got blighted, so I took the tops off them. These are the King Edwards. Took the tops off, I can't remember, not that long ago, but they got stupidly high, started collapsing in the high winds and rain, and they were blighted, so I thought I just need to cut the tops off. There was a big toad that was sat in this one. I didn't see it until it moved, so it wasn't the nicest thing. Yeah, I put pellets on, slug pellets, because I don't want to be losing loads to slugs. So obviously, of course, now daylight gets in, all these are just tomato plants. I'm not bothered. I'd rather have them than weeds, to be honest. You know, and like I say, I'm gonna tip all these out today, get them all out, and then re-tub the compost, because this compost I'm going to use at the allotment to top the beds off with in the late winter or spring. I don't know yet. See what happens. These have been this is where my onions were. There are actually 6 January King cabbages, tray of endive there. These are some leftover seedlings, savoys and stuff. Some lettuce. There were 3 more in there, but slugs have had them, so I seem to leave the endive alone, so I might just fill in the gaps with the endive, because they're for cane, tortoise. Slugs have been in having a go at me greens. These are the Durham Earlies, which I grow for cane, so I have to keep growing food for him, because I can't afford to keep buying it. And then these are some, like a red chicory, like a radicchio I think it's called. Something ball, I can't remember the name of it offhand. So see how they go, because they're a late season sort of cropper, which torts can eat. And there's some just endive, because that stuff is exactly the same as what that is at the back there. Obviously not in that state, but it crops for a while, and you just keep cut and come again. You don't plant them too close together if you can't crop it often, because it does get quite broad. So, and I've got some leeks obviously that have come to a bit of stress. Decided to send the seed head up, so I might actually leave that and get some seeds off it if it's going to do it. I don't know, if it's probably a bit too late in the year. So lots to do. What I get done, I don't know. You know, some of these I could string up. These onions, I mean, these are some of the Zebrun shallots that weren't great for me. First time I'd done them like, but I mean, nevertheless it's edible. You know, it's firm and that, so got about 20 of them there. Well, I've got loads of onions, but yeah, I could start stringing some of these. I'm not going to do another video on stringing, because I've already got a video on stringing onions. I'll probably put a link for that in the description, you know, because I do show how you can string it quite easily rather than struggling, you know, because it's not something you do every week. So I put the video on there because it helps remind me as well, because it's like, say, you know, you do it and then you do it for another year. You could do the garlic same. I'll show you the garlic in a minute. First of all, I've got to feed this little guy. So it's one of the daily jobs. Obviously when you're growing your own, all that's free, you know, because every day that start costing you a couple of quid, you know, which melts up to a lot. So just launch that on the floor for him. There's a carrot courgette and peppers and that. So he just likes it down here because it's sunny down this end. But there we are, off he goes. So I'll carry on picking some tomatoes, and then I'll I'll harvest some King Edwards. Right, I'm going to start tipping out these now. I'll probably video the whole thing, so feel free to skip through it. There's a couple that haven't got so many stalks on, so I'm going to pull them first because they're probably going to be the worst. They've not sent any roots out the bottom of the tub, as far as I can see. The other ones might have, but like I say, picking this one because it's only got 3 stems here. So which tells me the seed may have rotted off, so this one might have a lot in it. It's wet, I'll tell you that. So, yeah, tiny thing there. So, not expecting much in this one. I mean, they started, and then obviously it's the amount of top that was on them is just way too much. So you could say that tub was a fail. I think some of the other ones should be alright because they have got not as big and bulgy as last year, but there are some shapes and lumps here and there. So there's a seed potato. Get rid of that. Yeah, this is all going to go down to plot, all this compost. Just to top my beds off, because I will end up with a load of weeds this year, because one of the plots pretty much right next to mine, last time I seen it, it was about 4 foot high in weeds, all in seed, so they're just going to land over everyone's plot. I'll get rid of this tub. I'm going to pull one of the good ones actually. There are 2 sizes of pot here, there's a 30 and a 35. I can't remember, I think I planted 2 or 3, might be 2 in a 30 and 3 in a 35, I can't remember. Yeah, this one's got a few more stalks in it, so hopefully, you know, I can feel some of it here, but don't know. Well, some spuds there. See a lot of spuds around the top. Not massive, you know, there's still got a bit of time to go really, but they were planted fairly early. Oh, well, that's better. And no scab either. So I'll probably harvest all these and just lay them on the path in the sun, just to dry off for a few hours, and then I can sack them then. I'm probably going to get the odd, just open one of these tubs, stick all the tiny ones in them. Compost feels weird, it feels very gritty. To be honest, there's a bit of a mixture of compost in this, I think. And they had all had manure at the bottom, which is something I've never done before, is put manure at the bottom of a pot. Has it helped? No. Yeah, it's quite gritty, which I suppose is good for drainage. A few worms in there and whatnot. I'm not expecting a big load of spuds. The allotment yield was very, very poor because of obviously blight and mainly rotting off because they got wet. You know, because I'd cut the tops off and left them to get a bit of a skin on, and then just poured it down. They ended up actually underwater, so that doesn't help at all. I'll get that one out of the way. Try one of these bigger ones, I think. Yeah, the roots are coming out, but they're not a lot, to be honest. So, let's see what this brings. I can see some spuds and some centipedes, but trying to get a flat side on where they've been touching the side of the tub. You know, it's just could have gone bigger, these. Seed potato. Yeah, they're a little bit on the small side for king eddies. Probably say another 3 or 4 weeks it could have all been a bit better. Like them is a shame, you know, a couple of weeks would have been alright. Another seed potato. I mean, there's some decent ones in here. But like I say, I suppose with the tops being humongous on them, they did struggle at times to get a good source of food down, energy and that. But yeah, they were ridiculously high. The problem is I'll end up with a lot of spuds growing in my potato bed next year, but I can just pull them out as they pop up, the little ones. You know, and when I put this on my beds and sort of rake it out, it'll anything that's sort of re-sprouted will appear. There won't be much like in the way of food in it, but it's more of a weed suppressant, really. But you know, they're not dry, but they're not like really sticky wet, if you know what I mean. Because usually they're quite tough to pull the root ball apart. So what doing this is going to get on my back after a while. Oh. Got one back there. Next one. Oh. I will warn you, if anything jumps out from this, I'll not be happy. And green, that one, so I'll throw that one. Well, this one's not too bad. Like I say, they're not huge, because sometimes when they're huge it can be a bit of a nightmare. So I've got one there that's obviously succumbed to something, because I don't think it's a seed potato, that. but they are nice and clean. They feel rock hard, you know, so I don't know what they're going to be like. That one's funny colour to it, so I think that might have some blight spores in it. So I don't want to be putting anything like that in the sack with them. Same as that one, it's got a dark colour, it's soft. I can't remember what I got out of one pot last year. I think it was something like £13 of spuds or something. Ain't gonna be nothing like that. That was out of one pot, and that's out of how many so far? Oh, it's my fourth one. Nevertheless, it's under the circumstances. It's a bit of summer. It saves me buying some. Kneel down first. Oh, back's aching a bit. Pardon me. Yes. Surprising, it's been a while since I've actually done any sort of manual work. It's kind of tiring. It's definitely get used to it, but not doing it. Let's see, potato skin there. So I'll do all these and then I'll do that last potato peel challenge. Another one here, stuck to the side. Not a lot of roots. I mean, sometimes I don't know, it might be just a state of that. But yeah, you get some varieties that the potatoes like really matted with roots. It's hard to rip them apart. It doesn't look very healthy, that one. I think that's a seed potato anyway. It's dropped off. Wrong tub. Some of the small ones I can't be bothered with. The seed potato. Yeah, it's a bit disheartening at the allotment. Potatoes. I think I threw a lot more than half away. I reckon I actually managed to save about a third of them. You know, and they're just sort of like, a lot of them are just slung on the shed floor. Because I thought I don't want to put them in a sack if they're going to go rotten. Yeah, just whenever I get there, I just grab some. I think that was about it for that pot. That's another one done. That's 5 down. No, it's not. 6, 5 down, 7 to go. Oh God. Fair on that one. So they're not bad like roasting size for whole. You know, some of these will be out for chips and whatnot. Just to get them out of the way, then I can maybe sow something else there, or see if there's any of them Savoy cabbage seedlings that are still of any use. Put them in. It's just I'd rather have something growing there than start doing nothing. See that I've got to cover it up, you see. So next door's garden's starting to get high in weed, and there's bindweed about and all. Just slowly creeping in from next door. Considering I kind of cleaned the garden up a bit and then planted some pumpkins, the weeds have just drowned the pumpkins out. So that's how bad it is. Some people, I suppose, just can't be bothered. You know, to just either put flags down and just cover it over. Green that, don't want a greeny one. Oh, sorry, spud then, yeah. I think I'm going to have to go and get a bag in a minute and put them spuds in a bag. That's that row done. Get this other rubbish one now. Get that out of the way. Not much in this. Oh well, because this bud, so that's a good sign. Oh well, probably the only two that are in there. Can't see anything poking out around here. But you never know. Well, considering there's hardly any top on, quite surprising. Actually more of a uniform size than ones, apart from that. No slug damage. No massively rotten ones. That's sweet potato. start squeezing it too much. Like I say, you get the odd one that have got a soft bit on them, so like liquid blight. Like I say, it's fine once it's rotted down, 'cause it can't live on soil, not for long anyway. In most of this stuff, I ain't going to see another plant for 6 months. Yeah, I could always spruce it up a bit, I suppose, when I mow the grass. I can always mix grass clippings into it, or cap them all with grass. You just encourage worms to mill about in there. Give it a good churning up, keep it aerated and whatnot. And if any slugs go in there, any remnants of pellets will keep them down. Whoopsie daisy. I'd rather do this down in the actual garden, but with Kane being out and about, he'll end up getting a bit miffed and he'll start ramming me, which he tends to do. Bit of a grumpy bugger at sometimes. Oh God, there's a few manky ones in this. Get rid of them. Get a bit of room in here. A lot of small ones in here. Oh, we've got a soft spot on it. So I put that in a sack and you didn't notice it. At first glance, you can only notice it's a bit darker in colour. But if you put that in a sack and it bursts, try and squeeze it in, you might see then. Don't know, but don't spurt over there. It's just, yeah, it's. Phew, doesn't smell too great either. I know I dug my spuds up at the allotment. There's plenty of worms there. Good God, it didn't half stink. That's what I knew then. I thought, you know, I did get close to saying, you know what, forget it. I'll leave them in the ground to rot off. I just put my finger right in a dirty spud. Weird shaped ones. There's loads of little ones in this. It's just time consuming trying to get them all out. I mean, some of the small ones you could use in potato salad or something like that, but when you're working against the clock a bit, then get what you can. Yeah, that wasn't a good tub, that one. And all I'll do with these that have gone manky in here is, next time I mow the grass, I'll mix them with my grass clippings, because they'll get really hot then. And that should rot them down, and along with everything else that's in there. Yes, it feels weird, this compost. Because usually when you come to put it all back in, because obviously you've topped the pot up, it's all fluffed back up again. You can't get it all back in, but it used to be just going back in of its own accord. That's a piece of manure, that. Now for the amount of potatoes I actually planted this year, don't like the look of that one, I've got a poor yield. Considering potatoes are the only sort of labour intensive thing I have to do, it does make you question, our main crop worth it? You know, when you can buy a sack, I can buy a sack of King Edwards for 8-9 quid. You know, if you spend something like 2 or 3 quid on seed potatoes, the time and everything, is it worth it? Or do you just use the ground to grow something that's more cost effective, which I am considering? I mean, yeah, I could get my ground sorted at the allotment, but that's more labour and graft. And to be honest, the way things are up there, I don't know if it's going to be open much longer, because there's people abandoning the plots, you know, so they get to a point and then they might shut the site down. So I don't want to be investing too much time in there. Mushy. Oh god, it stinks. There's another one. So like I said before, I had no badly rotten ones and now I'm finding them. Be a reason for it, I don't know why though. There's one there with loads of stalks sticking out, so I can either have loads of, I might have a load of little ones on for all I know. Yeah, they are quite small. Shame. I could have left them a little bit longer, but it's just that borderline. Obviously some of them, it's like that's got blighted. That's the thing, do you risk it and lose all of them or not? Or just get them at a usable size? I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, to be honest, they're perfectly fine. Just depends if you want for big jackets buds or not. You know, something like that's alright for roasting and chipping. Even the small ones, I'm bothered peeling them and that. All flat chips. Because that's that. What the hell is that? They're alright, it's peeling them is a bit of a pain. I think in supermarket all them ones get launched. It's a waste. I mean, you could like save that and use it as a seed potato for next year. It'll grow fine. That thing, if you grow potatoes in pots and they're pretty clean, because it's sort of like virgin soil, it shouldn't have anything in it. So it is a good way to grow seed potatoes. You know, it's looking like them Charlottes might not make full term, you know, blight and that, but if I can get them, you know, if I can get them to that sort of size, you know, because I don't need many, and then just keep on the cool side, and then start warming up around January, slug hole in that, and then get them to fire some chits out. need to catch up on some YouTube videos. I've not seen any for a long time. I'm sure I got caught up over the winter months when you can't really, you're not really growing too much. It's quite funny sometimes because I'll hear something in the house and then I'm looking to see my mum and she's sat there watching a video of me. I'm thinking, you want me to really watch a video, you know, because a lot of times she used to go down to allotment with me just to get out of the house, and she knew what was going on. I suppose it's just one of them sort of proud parent things. Bless her. I've no idea how many spuds there's going to be here. There'll be 12 pots. What are the two left to do after this? So, no. See what comes out the other ones. I mean, ideally it'd be nice to get somewhere in the region of, let's say, 12. You know, something like £80–90 would be alright, but it's not going to be that. And quite possibly go maybe, you know, if the other two are out, might go 50. Which isn't great for 12 pots. I think it was how many seed potatoes? 12. I think there was 30 seed potatoes. Yeah, that rings a bell. I think it was 30. It was 2 in 6 and 3 in 6. I think that's how I worked it. I'll have to look back on an old video to plant. I think the last two, well, the big one was planted in a different orientation. I think instead of putting it 3 at the bottom, I think I put one up near the top in the middle. We'll see if that's got like a decent crop in the upper pot. Because the two bad pots, well, one of them wasn't too bad, to be honest. They were, I think they rotted off, because I ended up putting them, and I had some spare seed potatoes. Just pushed another one down in there. So obviously, they, you know, some of them had, you know, 4 or 5 weeks less. Wear gloves really, but I don't know. I try, but I don't know. It's like you can't feel out. think I'm going to go and have a quick cup of tea, and I'll come back and do these. Right, back to it. Didn't have a brew, I had a can of pop instead. I'm going to bring my bag up and my scales, which I put there. If they don't weigh, if they don't go, I don't actually know what they go to, but I've got some big fishing scales if need be. That looks quite a compressed sort of. It is wet, but it's not. It still breaks up really easy, which is nice. There's quite a few. I like it when it's like that because it makes it sort of like worthwhile. Not worse than emptying it out. That one feels soft. I don't like the look of that one. I'll get rid of that. I mean, it takes a bit of time to sort of get the eye for what could look suspect and what's okay. I can't remember, I did grow kestrel one year. I didn't mind them, but my mum didn't like them. So they were too hard, she seemed to have to boil them for ages. Yeah, some of these are looking a bit suspect, a bit darker and brown in colour. You know, which is tricky to spot when you're digging them out of the ground, if your soil's damp, because the mud sticks to them. I mean, these won't need long to dry, to be honest. I mean, because a lot of this compost will be fine in the sack, because it doesn't really hold loads of water. Because I always remember as a kid, the best spuds you got were off the milkman. Used to come in the sacks, and they were all dirty, muddy spuds. They used to be best. Years ago, cooked chip pan on, biggest pan full of lard with chip basket. Where you got a special treat where you had a chippy tea. Going back a few years now, that. How things have changed, and that's not in that many years, to be honest. Yeah, best way to do it is if you get a spud it's got a weird look to it. It looks a little bit dark. Give it a squeeze, give it a press. If it feels like it's soft, it means it could contain a liquid in there which will eventually burst out and could ruin the contents of the sack. Another giveaway is you'll end up with like little tiny flies, a bit like a fruit fly, I suppose. When you disturb the sack, buzzing out of it, that's a telltale sign. Your best way really is once a week tip the sack out and just have a look, just roll them out. So after about 3 or 4 weeks and everything's looking dry, then it should be okay. I don't have to worry too much because spuds don't seem to last long in our house. Something like this could be gone in 2 weeks. There's only really me that eats a lot of the homegrown stuff now. When I took on an allotment, things were different. Yeah, there's been plenty of times I've questioned, should I give it up now? Because only really me that eats it. The salad stuff anyway. Spuds and that will always be eaten. Tomatoes will get eaten quite a bit. Only mainly because I do them, you know, I make like bolognese sauces, but actually as a fresh cherry tomato, they get eaten. But the big ones usually end up, I let them go overripe and then I usually sauce them. Oh, last one of these. Got a green spud there straight away, so you can peel that off, but quite a lot of stalks on this. Spud hanging out there. A snail. There's a lot of snails this year. Oh, we've got a scab. That one. First one with scab. There's some spuds in this one. That's a big chunk. Cracked out the middle. I'll open it up. Let's see potato. Let's see potato. Seed potato. Yeah, from the smaller pots, this will have only had 2 in it. I think. I can't remember. I don't remember planting like 40 spuds or something like that. There could have been 36. I don't know. I can't remember. All on video. I think they went in 31st of March this year, so they have actually had long enough. Remain croppers, I mean, they need something like 18 weeks, 20 weeks, as long as you can really, but it was quite cold to get, you know, for early on in the year it took a while to get warmed up. Obviously that has an effect. Obviously irregular watering, you know, helps that vital swelling stage. That's what happened at the allotment, you know. I didn't have as many split on the main croppers, there was a few. And I think, you know, a lot of the ones that had rotted, they might have had small splits, that's how, you know, the water got in there. Because worms had gone in them. Slugs hadn't done too much damage. I'm not a big fan of using slug pellets, but there's just no other way. I keep on top of them. They come from neighbour's garden. You know, I try and keep it tidy here. I put pellets down the edges to try and stop them. You come out at night when it's damp and you can see them all creeping under the fence from next door. Obviously it's dense with weeds in there. Gives them somewhere to hide. Green on that. So I've probably thrown about half a pound of spuds away. Only tiny things. And we'll try and get them in this bag. I'm kneeling on. Which means they could go everywhere. I'll weigh the bag just for the viewers, I suppose, because it's not going to weigh much. Like I say, its strap might give way on it. I don't mind if the strap gives way, as long as the bottom don't give way and they're not rolling out all over the place. Cause it's just my luck, something like that happens. I mean, there's probably enough compost here, and there's 12 pots of these. I've got a couple of the test things. There's 14 pots. You know, I'll probably put 3 pots to a raised bed. try and tip them in, but I think I'll just do me back in trying that. I'll weigh the bag first. What we're going on pounds. Oh, clouds building up over there a bit. It actually weighs, go to ounces, 5.5 ounce that. Well, 5.4 ounces, so it's not even worth bothering about that. Probably equivalent to about three spuds. It's fun trying to get these in here. Once I get them to a sort of okay level, I might try and tip some. So I don't know how good these scales are. Yeah, they're only about 5-6 quid or something. The handy thing is once you've got a static weight, they kind of lock. That one's got a bit of scab on it too. That's 2 spuds with scab. Try and stand my bag up and tip the rest of these in. Try not to get too much compost in there. Send that over there. What have we got? I don't know. I've no idea. I'll go with £50. No idea. Might be more. See, kilos, pounds. If I flip my screen, I'll try and bring the thing over to the screen. A very little thing, I've got to try and pick it up with 2 fingers. And lift it off the ground a bit. Turn it round so I can't look over it. That's what I could do with a big T-bar really. Just hold it there till it locks. Is it locked? Nope. Come on. I'm getting £59. It's flickering around between 58 and that. I'll try and hold it up to the camera, but it's tricky. Oh, you can see this. I can't see. Oh, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try and switch it to kilo. $26.4. So, what does that work out at? If you said £60, can't even work it out, I suppose. It's over £5 a tub or something like that. Yeah, not great at all. It's below. I mean, I'd quite expect, you know, £7 to £10 out of a big pot. So they are below par. You know, so you know, like I said, I'd like to at least £80 would have been alright, but still £60 of spuds. And I've got a couple more I'm going to empty in a second, which are the testy ones, which are Navan and Orla, and they went in quite a bit later then. They went in middle of April. So I shall do them now. Leave them out of the way. First of all, I'll go and get this potato peel challenge pot. So it's very ugly and spindly. Just tag out here. Yeah, Navan or Navan, 7th of February. These are done. So the last two spud peel ones, which are Casablanca and Orla, were pathetic. I think I can't remember, 2 or 3 spuds. I'll fall to bits this. Just snap that off. Get my green thing back here. I can put them in it. All 2 spuds probably. The hell's that? Oh, it's a berry. I wonder what it was then. Leaves out of the way. Right, so this is the last potato peel challenge. Was it worth doing? Not really. Just a bit of fun, I suppose. It feels very light, so it's very dry. And there's a big snail at the bottom. Wood lice. Big slab of manure at the bottom there. Can't see any spuds poking out anywhere. Pull this slab of manure off the bottom. That's just like a manure cake. Smash that up. This is really, oh, we've got a potato. Look at that. Fantastic. Right, sling that back. That's one. That. Oh my god. They're a bit, I don't know, they're a bit rough. Look at that. They dried out and they've tried sprouting again. It's not like a proper chit, it's like a piece of spud sticking off. Oh, it's green. I'll keep it. I could do something to weigh them in, just for a laugh. Let me find something to weigh them in. I'll just buzz that through there, so I've got out in my shed. In a word, no, there's nothing jumping out at me. Must have something in here. Carry a bag or something. Carry a bag here. A couple of fleece in it. These will do. I can't believe that. pretty big, them spuds. It's still not worth doing, you know, for the amount of compost and stuff. But I mean, for care, there was zero care with them. Not for a long time. Right, switch these on. I'm going with pounds again. I know it's modern day and kilos and stuff, but when I go fishing, it's all pounds and ounces. So, oh my god, have a look. You can see that 1.75 pounds. off a potato peel. It wasn't a seed spud either, it was from a sack that I get from a farm shop, just some of them that sprouted. So it weren't a shop bought thing, like, you know, because it might have been sprayed with retardants. Them Charlottes there that were planted out, some of them are supermarket ones that started to sprout. So right, I'll put them in that pot. Keep this bag so we can use it in a minute. So we've got two last pots to do, thank God. Should no more. Not even any little tiny ones, a little worm in there. But, oh well. Bit of fun, bit of a laugh. I've not untied these yet, I'm trying to, bear with me, just try and untie these ones. Flies in my face and all sorts. Some of this soil's puffed up, I don't know why, I don't know if we've got snails in there or not, I don't know. I tied these up to stop them from tipping over, because they're like sort of propped up on the wood, so they've not been in any ground. So I'll do the other navan for now. So these were done. I've just got test navan. These were done in my own compost. I don't think there's any feed or nothing in it, so it's blighted compost anyway. With the tomato seeds in it. 16th of April these were done. So they were done 6 weeks after my King Edwards. You know, a few stalks, I'm not expecting miracles, but you shall see. I didn't water them that much, to be honest. Just shake the tops. I see some spuds at the top, but nothing massive. Quite yellowy that. I can only see spiders, worms, wet. I thought it'd be a lot drier. Oh, what's that? It's a lot wetter, considering they've not been in the ground. Yeah, very wet these. Weird that. I thought the ones that had been off the ground, you know, because there's nothing blocking them all, they can drain right through them. I thought these would be on the dry side, but little brown flecks of scab. Only little tiny faint ones really. I'm not going to separate these two, I'm just going to sort of just weigh the two pots together. I might try and keep these for seed potato. A lot of small ones in here. I expected there to be little ones in here. That's just down to growing duration. Well, that's the only pot grown all I've done, I think, rightly, apart from the peel, which was pathetic. I'm not sure if I got 3 small potatoes, I think. Enough for a chip butty. You know, it's like main croppers, you know, to buy that, you know, that King Eddie's maybe, you know, 8-10 quid. You know, was it worth it? I don't think I bought loads of compost especially for doing it. I think that broke even, really, in cost to do. But like I say, you know, it's dual purpose because I use the compost to top my beds up, so I don't have to go and buy a load of compost or anything, or you know, because I have a lot of my own stuff as well, compost that'll, you know, probably go on if I get round to it. I need to turn my compost really. I might put some fresh on one of the beds this year and let it rot down under the membrane. Flatten that out. I'm gonna tip the other pot on top. Oh no, I'm gonna put it back in here. There's more to empty out after. Right up, it's going dull. Try and force this in even though there's stuff like that pot as well. Like, so I leave it like this, any seeds that blow on and germinate I can kind of scoop the top off. You're not going to get everything out, it's just the way it is. Try and get these back through here without falling out of a tip. Kicking everything over here. There's a puffed up bit of soil there. I don't know why. I hope there's not a big toad under it, so I'll just do bear with me. As long as I'll use my hand 'cause it might be a cat might have done its business there, I don't know. Yeah. Earthy, real earthy smell then. Let's see what we can do. Right. All sticks here. So rolling over that side. So there, Navan. Wet again. Yeah, all 16th, the 4th, 17. I do like Orla, always have done. You know, they've not been performing as they used to do. I don't know. The one that I'll always persevere with. Some people are, you know, they just get the ones that they swear by. You know, there's got a bit of manky one there, full of little worms. I think they're just normal baby worms, I don't think they're anything untoward. Yeah, same again, there's quite a few, quite small, minimal scab. I'm not going to bother with the titchy tiny ones. You know, so the Navan seems to do alright. I am tempted to actually, because the Navan I buy from the actual farm shop are actually, I think they're grown in Pilling, which is where my allotment is. And all that land's very similar. It's quite silty. So it might be an idea to try growing some. You run the risk of incorporating any disease, I suppose, you know, from potato farmers and stuff. But never mind. It's an idea. Alright, I'll bag these up and I'll weigh these as one, if I can remember where I put my scales. Oh, they're hiding in the parsnip. So these are grown in just my own blighted compost. I don't think I put any feed in or nothing, just as they were. Yeah, I might have put a little bit of blood fishing bone in, but I don't know, I might have run out before then because I ran out of blood fishing bone meal quite a while ago. So I reckon in there, I don't know, no idea, £8 of spuds, maybe 6, I don't know. Right, we'll go on to pounds, come on, pounds. Oh, just under £7 spuds. So, not bad really, considering they weren't sort of full on, they were just a tester. So, does it work? Yeah, compost is alright, it produces a crop. It just, you know, I mean, stuff like spuds that are fairly hungry, you know, but things like lettuce and stuff that aren't really hungry crops, perfectly fine for. And it's free because it's your own. Right, so I'm going to come turn the camera off now and sort this lot out, and then get on with something else. Right, down plot, been down here for about an hour now, done a bit of weeding, so we'll start losing the light soon. So I'll get done what I can get done. So this is that celery, I think it's Victoria. Wrapped these round a few weeks ago, just to see if it'll blanch the stems off a bit more. It's probably given a nice home for slugs, to be honest, but see how we go on. Just have to try and cut the string without cutting myself. Some old compost bags that I've wrapped around. So a few worms coming up. The inside looks pretty white. It's a chunky plant. Might be a bit stringy though. Had a couple. They seemed they were a little bit stringy, but not as bad as I thought they'd be. So I guess I'm trying to get in and hack it off with this rusty thing. So, gonna lop it off about there, I think. The compost, I'm not going to use them for out really. There's only me who really eats the celery at home. There's way too much here, to be honest, but just keeps going till the frost kills it really. So that's the celery Victoria. I don't know if you can see that. If you look at I'll pull one of these out a bit, so if you see inside it's pretty white. So not too bad, a few strings in it, but nothing major. Yeah, it'll peel if you have to. So, but it's kind of had to look after itself, because celery is one of them sort of vegetables that you need to be on the ball with a bit, watering, because it's a bog plant naturally. So, but considering everything else, it's a crop. You know, there's a fair old bit of weight in that, to be honest. So, and there's wood lice about, so I've had a few of them this year. Right, so I'll get a camcorder, have a look around, then I'm going to carry on doing a bit of weeding if it was dark. Go with the wobbly camera. So I'll have a closer look at it. Oh, yeah, it's a fair, decent sized chunk of celery. Do for me anyway. Not something I grow every year. I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't mind it. I have no idea what the celeriac's going to taste like. I don't even know if it's going to harvest proper yet. Stick some greens out, put them in the compost bin in a bit. so we'll have a look around, because I can't remember what it was like last time you saw it. All these, I just scuffed this with a hoe before. I just had that few spring onions left in there. Hopefully if it's dry tomorrow, any of these little bits of weeds here, you see, they'll dry out. Unless if it pours it down, then it won't. So I've got a spring onion that's going to send seed out here, so I'll take them anyway for what it is. These are white, no, that Ishikura, these are, the last of them. And right, dwarf French beans. I can't remember the name of them, sorry. I don't think I've grown these ones before anyway. But they are very small, very dwarf, so little buds on them, flowers and that, so should be beans soon. More beetroot. These were sown in modules, these ones. They were sown direct. They're a new variety that I've not done before. So I'll go around there and have a look at the tag. I ain't got much battery power left, to be honest. And we've got here Betolo. They are. And these are bolt hardy, the usual sort of most people tend to do. I'll go over to where the onions were. Got some Autumn King carrots. I'm not going to grow as full size carrots because they'll just rot off, so I'll give them till the floods come and I'll pull them as babies. Just put some radish in, just in between, just direct. This is all direct sown, this bed, just as a bit of a gap filler. I mean, they're tiny little thing, but I mean I could take a load of them now really, because I'd be alright at that. I'm not a big fan of radish, especially when they get woody, but I mean like this, probably not too bad. I'll just try one. Yeah, they're alright. Yeah, not too bad then. Not as earthy. Sometimes you get some that are really earthy. These are, I can't remember, I have to look at the other side. Oh, winter density. So there's a few gaps, but they've got to be thinned out, and all I do with some of the thinnings, if I get a gap I'll just move it too, because like I did last year in that bed, I just sort of think it was like 2 rows, and then I thinned them out and filled the bed off the thinnings. These are red Grenoble, which are a nightmare to get to germinate for some reason, I don't know why. So when I've got, I think out of a full row there, I've got 4, so I might move them up. But you think 4 lettuce can take up 4 foot, and the beds are only 5 foot wide. These are chicoria, like a red ball type thing. They really need thinning out, but I might just take a load of them as baby leaf. Not today though. These are Mesure. Same again, they're a bit hard to germinate, but they've been good this year, Mesure. I've actually, the ones at home. I've got a couple there, and one there. So I'll give it a couple more weeks till I come down next time, and then I'll work with what I can see, and what I can't, I'll have to go. Spinach, I'll probably be able to take some of that next time I'm down. That is, I think it's endive. Yeah, on 2 rows of endive, and 2 rows of I think these are white Lisbon spring onions. I know I had onions in here before, but I had the pack with me, so I thought, you know what, I'll put them in and see what happens. We'll go to this net here. I've got some Sweet Success and Cure. It's 5 of each there. I've got some Durham Early Greens, loads of them. And these are Cabbage Tundra. There's 3 of them. And these, I think, are some autumn cauliflowers. One's succumbed to summit, probably leather jacket nailed it, but they're ticking along. This was full of weeds. So I just scuffed it with, because we're tiny, I just scuffed it with hoe, so the rest will have to dry out. This, I'm part way through weeding this. These are Brussels sprouts. They're not doing well in this ground at all. It's just the soil, because it's not like my raised beds. It's just plain old soil. They never do well in it, to be honest. So I might actually spare a bed next year and plant them in that later on. Can't remember the name of it. Doric, I think they are called. So I'm just I'm just hoeing off the tops, and then I'm going to crack the soil up a bit. I need to bring my little 3-prong cultivator next time, try and put a bit of air in the soil, because it's just that matty and hard. It's horrible soil. It just clunks up like hell, and I've put so much manure in it over the years, it just doesn't seem to do anything. I need to put some more bulk, like pure straw in it or something. I think there's 12 of them. Then I've got what are they? Well, these are autumn giant cauliflowers. The other ones in the other bed are April ones, Amado April. Then I've got some Savoy cabbage, which are being enjoyed by, well, it's not caterpillars, but it's slugs are about. So yep, if I've got some pellets and I get a chance, then I'm going to put some pellets in. No, they're not weeds. There's probably a few weeds in there, but that's mainly mustard. That's where the rest of my spuds were, and it's had mustard seeds apart from a little area sort of across there where I ran out of seeds. So along that main back edge and about 10 foot of that end, you know, there's mustard seeds. And here are the Aquilles broccoli. Considering these were sown at the same time as them, you can tell the difference in the growth rate, that they just do better in the raised beds because of the soil. It's aerated, it's nice and it's coarse, you know, it's moisture retentive as well as draining, where that is sort of holds moisture, goes rock hard, bakes, cracks, floods. Not great at all. Sweet corn, don't know, it's probably ready. Probably not great, but I just slung a load of mustard seeds around the bottom of that. So when I harvest these, I'll probably just put the strimmer across all them. I'll let them get big, and then I'll just trim them all down and then put a cover over it, and they can all rot in over winter. Down to 3 minutes on my battery. So beans, massive. Probably just leave them be now and just deal with them when I'm down next. Have a look down here. We've got giant sunflower challenge. It's no good. I say I'm 6 foot. That's probably about 7 foot high. It's no good. It's not massive. It's a fair decent head, but nowhere near what you can get. Celeriac, still sort of growing. So I'll see what happens. That courgettes have succumbed to mildew and are dying. I'm not really too bothered. And I've got a tomato plant from the compost that's growing here that it's not showing any signs of blight at all. So that's come out of my compost. It's actually got flowers on it, so I'm going to leave it. Blueberries, I've picked as many as I need. I've left the door open and the blackbirds still don't want to come in, so I've still got more to pick. But they're not getting picked tonight, I haven't got time. Right, so I'm going to try. I've got 1 minute left on my battery. I'll put the camera back on in a minute, I'll see what my sweet corn's like. Right, so I'm just going to grab one quick. I've got 1 minute left. Lift it off. I'm not expecting much on these, but the variety's Swift. Looking pretty ready to me. Give it a squeeze. Yeah, squirt in the face. So, cut that end off, yeah, not too bad. I've got about 50 cobs, something like that. So, I'll crack on eating these now, I suppose. Put that there. So, just before my battery warning's going, so I'll say thanks for all your comments in the last video, and I'll be back some point in the future. I don't know when or what's going to happen, so take care, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.